Are you ready, Ed?
No.
You look you look lost. What are you doing over there?
I just did some push-ups real quick to get my brain firing better. So I'm trying to catch my breath.
Awesome. All right. Well, you know what? I hope the push-ups have taken effect. Cause just get ready. I said one. No, let's go the other way. Let's go 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, something like that. You ready, Ed? All right. Got your glasses on. Got your hat set.
Is your camera
Push-ups
view
in.
is your camera view acceptable? I mean,
I feel yeah, it's like probably I'm exceeding my expectations, which that will feed right into my quote.
You can dismiss
all right,
hair and
ready?
makeup
5,
for the night.
4, 3, 2, 1. Let's roll, baby.
With 50 plus years of combined produce, supply chain, entrepreneurial, and business experience, Craig, Slate, and Ed Bertaud discuss the impacts of fresh produce on their lives and health. This podcast is a casual conversation between two friends just trying to get better. This is the Fresh CrEd.
Hello, the Fresh CrEd crowd. How is everyone today? It is a Saturday. I'm here with my good friend Ed Bertaud. Ed, what is going on, my man?
Just you, baby.
Just me, huh? Well, I am obviously going on pretty well, pretty strong. I don't know what the heck that means, just you, but okay.
Yeah, you're going on.
So I am. All right. You excited for our show, man? We've been, once again, we're kind of getting tardy on these things. I mean, you know, we were like knocking them out week in, week out, and then all of a sudden we just kind of fell off.
Look,
got all kinds of cards and letters from folks.
We've been doing pretty well. We've been getting good feedback, but trying to compete with Saturday Night Live, I think you're going a little overboard. Because it's Saturday night,
that Saturday Night Live
and it's
things.
dark outside, and we're having a podcast.
Yeah, but Saturday Night Live, like I told you, it's on its way out. It's done. This is the next thing. Me and you, man. You and I, we're the next Saturday Night Live.
I used to have a life on Saturday nights, and it wasn't this.
What was your life before this? I want to know, what did your Saturday night look like before you were sitting here with me? Huh?
I mean, way back. Like, way back.
Yeah. Yeah, we all had a life way back. I mean, mine was 30 years ago. I had like a Saturday Night Live,
Yeah.
Tanya had a Saturday Night Live. You had, you weren't even born when I got married, though. That's weird. So.
Me?
But it is, it is Saturday, and it's a beautiful day here. But it is also September 11th, and it is certainly a very sad day. 20 years ago, very tragic, and so it's a day of remembrance and a lot of I don't know, just like I say, remembering, never forget, and looking back on what a wild and super tragic day that was, and where everybody's at. So it is a day that unfortunately it's going to carry that with it forever. And so we do have that, and we'll need to talk a little bit about some of that kind of stuff. I think maybe some of your quotes may be related to that as well. So, but
yeah, I started
where were
off,
you by the chance? By chance?
Well, I was going to say I started off today with a little crying. Nothing like a little crying to start your day off. But I was watching the news this morning and watching some pieces on 9/11.
Yeah,
man. Not that I had forgotten, because I haven't, but I had forgotten how intense some of the scenes were that were shared on TV. And so they had about a 20-minute piece that had basically kind of I guess it'd be a retrospective of that day and kind of like a collage of different video pieces. But yeah, it was rough.
Were you so 20 years Vegas? Had you got to Vegas yet? Or you still in Cali?
I lived in Las Vegas at the time. Yeah. I was in Vegas that day. There's a couple days when I lived in Vegas that really stand out. Obviously, the day I was married, but 9/11, I was on my way to work, and actually, Bryce was not even a year old yet, and he was going to an in-home daycare there in Las Vegas. We lived on the kind of the west side of town, and my office was on the east side of town. And I had just dropped him off, and of course, I didn't even. Callie had already gone to work. I didn't have even the wherewithal to watch the news or even the bandwidth to do that. I was a new dad trying to get, a toddler ready, or infant, I guess, still, right? Before 1 year old, ready for daycare and get him out the door and get to work. So I was in a hurry, dropped him off. And as I had got back in my truck and started driving towards the office, our office manager called me. Might have been Nextel days. You remember the Nextel two-way radios?
Yeah, where it's almost like a walkie-talkie.
Yeah, and she had called and asked me, and I remember exactly what she said, almost exactly, which I know what she meant, but it sounded a little odd. She said, "Have you seen the news today? Do you know what's going on in the world?" And she said in the world, not in New York, not, because it was still kind of unclear as to what was going on.
Right.
And she used those words exactly. Have you seen what's going on in the world? And there were 2 days going to work that were the most, I guess, anxiety filled or, desperate when I lived there. One was that day, and another was when our plant was on fire and I could see it from across the valley, and I was driving like hell to get there, but that's a different story for another day. So yeah, I got there, and I remember I had a television in my office, an old tube TV, and I turned it on, had it on all day, and I just, yeah, it was I just couldn't believe it. I mean, I had never experienced anything like that. I mean, I was in my, I was at 20, I was 27. So yeah. That's where I was that day. Where were you?
Yeah, it was, what's that?
Where were you?
Well, I had driven to Houston. I was, we had moved. We moved out of Houston up to Dallas in 2000, and so I was on my way. I was actually, I believe I'd stayed that night in Houston Sunday night, and whatever it was the morning of. Was it a Monday or Tuesday that it was? Because it was Monday, right? Yeah, I had been in D.C. the Friday before. I came home from D.C. United had their deal, and I had come back from United. I had been at the
Produce Policy Conference.
Yeah, it was the policy conference the week before, and we literally had gone to a meeting over at like the old government offices or whatever. Anyway, we were there in D.C. On that Friday. Then by Monday, I'm back, and I was in Houston. Associated Grocers had a food show going on that week, so I was going to be going in Houston. Going to be in Houston. Had a Fresh Fruit and Vegetable Association meeting there, a luncheon on that day, and I'm driving in, and the guys at the warehouse call me as I'm driving in, and I think the comments were, it was early on. They're like, "Hey, man, it's like a plane hit the World Trade Center or whatever up in New York," and when they called me at that time, because it was early in the morning. When it was all going, when it was very first started happening. And I told him, I was like, well, just, keep it on. I'll be there in a little bit. And by the time I got in, like I say, we were kind of like you. We just sat there and watched the rest of the day kind of unfold. But the weirdest part is, I mean, I'm oblivious, I guess, to so much. It never really connected in my mind exactly what was going on. because I called Tanya and she's like, well, are you coming home? She went and got the kids out of school. I was like, no, I got this luncheon today down in downtown. Then we're going to Baton Rouge. And she's like, what are you talking about? There's not going to be a luncheon today. And I was like, well, what do you mean there's not? I mean, literally, I had no idea that they weren't going to have the luncheon. At that time, it did, it was so early in this whole conversation. I'm like, there was no attack. We didn't know what was going on, but I don't think I realized. I was like, nobody's attacking Houston. I think they're going to go ahead with doing it. Anyway, long and short, we didn't have luncheon. And I went home. And even going home, on the way back to Dallas that evening,
you were doubting your decision.
I stopped at it. What's that?
You were doubting.
I mean, Philip still had to go. Yeah, Philip still had to go to Baton Rouge. They still had the show at AG. I mean, they still went ahead with this food show, although they got very little participation. But I get to this gas station and there's people lined up getting gas, like there's a run on gas. And I go in. I was like, man, what's going on? He said, haven't you heard? And I was like, what? He's like, man, we're being attacked. And I was like, gosh, damn. And I really felt stupid. I'll be honest with you. When it's all said and done, I was kind of dumb. I was that freaking oblivious with, what the hell, how big it was. And of course, after I get through that point, I realized that, holy crap. And then I get home and the kids were, like I say, Granger was a toddler and the girls were in grade school. And anyway, it was just surreal from that point forward. Right. I mean, it was just super surreal. And the casualties and the lives that just got destroyed and changed forever. Heartbreaking for sure. And certainly something that, none of us will ever forget, how it went down. And yeah, it was, challenging, difficult time, difficult days. And, the people, everybody at that time, the people that were going into, save lives and stuff, that just, every time I watch that, man, I just think about the courage that those folks were having. I just, no way I would muster any of that. It's just, it just amazes me. And, you hear people talk about how they were coming down the stairs and people going up the stairs. It's just like, oh, and like you said, you watch that stuff now and it just breaks your heart. So,
yeah,
super sad
I mean,
day,
at the risk of being too graphic, but this morning when I was watching the piece that I did, and you saw where folks chose jumping off of the building over basically Shirley, burning to death, which would have been, that was one of the toughest visuals to see, and they showed a lot of it.
Yeah, and it was like I say, just, I don't know. And then the folks that we saw those, and then you had the plane, where they take over the plane and crash it, and to save lives. It's just, so many brave people, and such a tragic event for the country and for us to live with. And it's crazy, Mason and Laura, for them, there's not any real, I mean, they remember being in school and stuff. I mean, you guys, I guess, where Laura, I mean, I know Mom came and got you. What grade were you in?
So I was in 4th grade, and I didn't know what was going on. Mom was just picking me up from school. Like, I was in PE. They come and get me, and I'm waiting in the office. I don't know what's going on. I don't think I noticed anyone being weird as far as adults, but Mom was upset, and I remember her trying to, like, explain why, we were getting picked up, and I don't think I really understood.
Right.
Or I don't remember exactly how she tried to put it, but I'm sure that it was gently and in a way that, to try to get me to understand in a safe way. You know what I mean?
And Mason, I guess you weren't in Roy City. Where were you? You're out in Quinlan?
So yeah, I was in Quinlan ISD, and they straight up. I mean, I remember my class, amongst others, being brought into the gymnasium, and they kind of just gave us a rundown, and they had like a television, like an old school like CRT TV on a like a little stand, and they just wheeled it in, and it was news coverage, and they're just like, this is what happened. And I had like my dad's side of the family is from like New Jersey, New York area. So like I was kind of concerned at that point. Like I didn't know if anybody worked in the World Trade Center, and at the time, I didn't understand fully the ramifications. I remember in the resulting like days, wondering, are other areas like Dallas and other major cities, are like they going to be under attack too? So there were a lot of questions, but yeah, it was wild. I mean, we saw it. I stayed in school, but they basically interrupted normal operations to kind of, you know, just stay tuned.
Yeah, yeah. It's just that you wonder, for kids, how it affected them, like I say, and then how the weeks went. I guess even after it happened, I guess even for kids, it was still probably hard to understand the gravity of it all. But wow, it tilted the. There's no doubt it tilted the world globally in a different direction. Right, so much followed um, from that event, and you know, uh, yeah, it's one of those deals where a lot of patriots, a lot of people that sacrificed for somebody else, and a lot of people that perished that for a needless cause. So
It's amazing.
Very, very sad, and very, very.
I was just going to say that in one of the pieces this morning, I mean, they didn't have a statistic on it, but it was pretty obvious. I know somebody that was inspired to join the armed forces as a result of 9/11, which is something that's the kind of stuff you hear about, in previous wars, for example,
Yeah, yeah. After Pearl Harbor, several people, joined the military right after that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So
I think the other thing that really sticks out, I can see it plain as day. So I guess it was October 7th when, Operation Enduring Freedom, which was what, the military official name the U.S. government used for the action
right
in response to 9/11 was, and it was signed in, and that was a Sunday. And I was getting ready to go out of town. I was in Las Vegas. I remember watching TV, everything that was going on. Troops were hitting the ground, I believe, in Afghanistan, or they were shortly going to be hitting the ground. And I had to travel the next day. I was going to Sacramento. Target had a distribution center there, and we were onboarding an on-site operation there. And on the news, they talked about increased security at the airport and to get there plenty early, right? They were talking like 3 hours early, 4 hours early. And, I had been at the airport in Las Vegas when it was busy, and I could understand a couple hours early. And I think I got there 3 hours early, and I probably should have been there 4 hours early. And I remember I was flying Southwest. I remember going into the terminal, and what sticks out in my mind the most, if you're in the Vegas airport, or at least McCarran Airport, the way it was, I haven't been there in a while in the ticketing counter area, but if you look up, the ceiling is domed, but lengthwise, it's not like one dome. It's just like arched, right? And it's lit up.
Mm-hmm.
And what I hadn't ever noticed before were their catwalks on both sides. And that morning there were armed military personnel in those catwalks walking back and forth when I looked up. And the lines to check in, they didn't have TSA pre-check or anything. Heck, up until then I would carry pocket knives on the plane,
right.
You could pretty much take anything on the plane, lighters, whatever. And the line to check in was the entire inside of the airport switchbacks, and then it went outside. And I remember there was like a service parking lot for like, you know, service delivery vehicles on the side of the terminal, and it had been all roped off, right? And there were people, it was all filled with people waiting, and then the line went around another building to another service parking lot, and it was all roped off with people waiting in line to check in. So I almost missed my flight.
Gosh.
3 hours early. It was pretty crazy. And I definitely thought about not going at that point, but there were folks waiting on me and or counting on me to be there. So that sticks out in my mind, particularly, you know, armed military personnel at an airport, which I don't think I'd ever seen in my life.
Well, I went back, I believe it was the following year, going back to D.C. I don't think it was 2 years. It was the following year. And 30 minutes before landing, you couldn't get out of your seat. They announced it's like, once as we make approach, you got to stay buckled in, and you did not get up. That was understood. And they made clear getting up's not a good idea.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you had to stay seated until you landed as they came in on approach. So, you know, one thing to go back, and then we'll get into some of the other stuff. But if you ever get a chance, take a look at George W. He was reading to grade school kids. It's you know, his demeanor, his reaction is just so perfect for a leader. I mean, I can't remember who it was that came and whispered in his ear, you know, basically planes have hit the World Trade Center and America's under attack, is basically as he's sitting there listening to these grade school kids read. And there's a video or an interview with him talking about it, and it's pretty good if you get a chance to take a look at it. But
I saw it several times this
wild
morning.
Time.
It was on the piece that I watched this morning. Yeah, they tell him that the first plane hit, and then I believe was it followed up by the Pentagon plane and then the second plane on the towers?
Well,
but it was
I think the two New York planes were pretty close. I mean, it's but the first plane that hit, when everybody got there, like I say, when they told me a plane had hit, I was like everybody else. I thought it was just a
operator error
or something, right? Somebody got crazy. Something happened. You know, it was an accident. And it just took forever for me to register exactly what the hell was going on. So, but yeah, he got the word that it was a plane, and he at that time thought, he said, keep me informed. And then
the second,
when they came back telling him about the second one,
that's when he got up.
So anyway,
well I've got 9/11 related quotes
folks
today. You want me to?
Let's go. That's a good segue. Let's segue to your quotes. What do you have on the quote sheet, sir?
9/11 related, and I don't think anybody can argue that if anything good could have come from those occurrences was a definite feeling of just being more, united as a country, I guess. So I've got, in the spirit of bipartisanship, I have two quotes. And one is from Senator John Kerry, related to 9/11. And it was the worst day we have ever seen, but it brought out the best in all of us. And the other was from President George W. Bush. And it says, "Our enemies have made the mistake that America's enemies always make. They saw liberty and thought they saw weakness."
Nice. I like both those.
I
like both those. And I mean, that is true statements. And it was at the time. It's unfortunate that we couldn't have maintained some of that best of all of us longer than we did. And stay a bit more united coming out of that. I mean, it's been 20 years, so I think a lot of that has unfortunately eroded since then. That's unfortunate.
Or
but,
what it takes to
those
get
are
there.
2 words.
Yeah, or what it takes. The kind of
I mean, you shouldn't have to have a tragedy like that to bring us all together, right? Yeah, we should be able to be a bit more united for a cause without having to have something like that created. So,
hopefully
anyway,
you got something more upbeat for your quote.
Well, I don't know that mine is particularly. It's different. It's not 9/11, and it is. Let me get it up here. So this is more. This goes along with. If you'll notice, there's like a theme with so many of the quotes that I have. And this is really about your day-to-day life and how you go through it. And suffering happens when we expect life to be something more and different than what it is in the present moment. When we let go of all expectation, there's peace. And that's Kim Ing. I'm assuming E-N-G is pronounced Ing, but Kim Ing. So suffering happens when we expect life to be something more and different than what it is in the present moment, when we let go of all expectation. So, breaking that down, I mean, that's we always, I know I'm notorious, right? I mean, I expect sometimes things to be a certain way, and then I get really frustrated when it's not exactly like that, right? I'm in the moment. And my kids can really appreciate all this, but there's expectations of how, like, we're on a trip, we're going somewhere, we're doing something, and I set these expectations as to how it's supposed to be, and then it doesn't pan out, or things get off course, or I don't know, you name it, right? It's always something. It rains. It's like, dadgummit, that's not what my plan was, and that's not how. And man, there's no doubt there's plenty of suffering. Go ahead, Laura.
You've passed that on to me. Thank you for that, Dad.
Craig, I have a little bit of that as well. So,
but you know what? That's what this quote. I mean, that's realistically. They say that also. That this is a big catalyst for just about all suffering. Is it's like we set our expectations, we set our where we think the world ought to be, as opposed to this is what it is. Where you're at right now is where you're supposed to be. This is what you're supposed to be doing, and these are the things that and it's about appreciating that. I think so. I've thought about this. So when meditating, like you get an itch or something, right? Or sometimes I meditate outside and like a stinking fly will land on me or something, irritating the heck out of me. So the trick in that moment, what you want to, at least I try and do, is that is there. Instead of trying to shoo the fly and or scratch the itch, I try and accept that. It's like, that's not what I planned for. That's not my peaceful moment, but it is what is present. Therefore, I need to try and, get through it. It is what's here, and you go through. So anyway, I don't know, Ed, what say you, buddy? You don't suffer?
Oh yeah. I mean, I'm trying to remember who I was listening to this week that was talking about something similar, which is more along the lines of, when you tell yourself, if this circumstance could just be this way, everything will be perfect, right? If I could just have this pair of shoes, or if I could just have this vehicle, or if I could just have this in my life or that out of my life, everything will be perfect. And then, if you're lucky enough for it to happen, you realize that it's typically not the case, right? Waiting for particular circumstances in order to take action is a big debilitator, right? For people. And, I've been guilty, and I think it's just a lot of the times I think it's a lack of maturity. I mean, it's a very, I say childish in the best way, because it's typical in very, young adolescents or teenagers or young adults that from a very idealistic standpoint is, if this could just be like that, everything will be perfect. And then when it doesn't happen that way, obviously it's a long fall.
Yeah. So go through life setting low expectations. That's what I say.
Yeah.
Kidding everybody out there. That's not what I say. I
set
say
the bar
high
low.
Expectations. Set high expectations and expect to fail. That's what I say. That's the way to live your life. Be happy when you fail because that means you did good. No, I love that quote. Don't suffer. Don't freaking, you know what? Life's going to throw curves. Make lemonade out of those curves. That's what I say.
And it sounds real simple, but once you realize that everybody has challenges, that everybody has issues, everybody's family's nuts. Once you realize all that, it makes things a lot easier.
You got a nutty family?
None are within earshot, but yeah. Who doesn't? Nuttier than a fruitcake. Well, since
we're having a contest, who's the nuttiest in our family? So I think I'm in the lead right now. So
who's the judge?
I'm trying to rock that. Yeah. Yeah. We don't have a judge. We need one of those. So.
I volunteer.
Yeah.
You need somebody outside the family.
No, Mason, you don't get to volunteer because I don't like your opinions very much.
Okay. Well, better than Laura.
I'm a pretty good judger, but
yeah, I think we're all well equipped to judge. We're just not well equipped to be judged. I think that's our challenge.
Yeah, I'm not done with the podcast. I was listening today about. I think the title of it was "Me and My Big Mouth," and we touched on it last week. Listen more, talk less. And when you do, ask questions and, God, where was I going with this?
I don't know. You jumped right in like you were fired up to talk about it.
Fired up to talk about
like
something.
Losing steam.
Anyway, I'll finish listening to it and then I'll give you the rundown.
Yeah. Okay, that's great. Hey, thank you. That
good.
was we just deviated there.
Oh, it was understanding.
No.
The point was understanding people's point of view, right? Like we want to be heard.
Yeah.
We want people to talk less. We want people to understand us. But until you fully understand where somebody's coming from, you can't really listen. So, or hear what they're saying. So that's the that's the angle. So really going beyond just hearing somebody, but listening to them, and then I don't know, maybe it's a little too analytical, but trying to at least imagine what it is that they're feeling that might make them say what they're saying, right? And it happens in family all the time, right? 9 times out of 10 when family members get angry at each other, it's not because they hate each other. It's obviously or maybe not too obviously, they love each other, they care about what each other thinks of each other and what they how they value each other, and that's what is misinterpreted as anger and or disappointment and other things. So that's a pretty tricky one, obviously, with family or loved ones in particular. But that's a whole other podcast.
I was going to say, wow. I thought you were going to take us down like a seriously deep road there. You kind of digging us into something. I had a lot of things going on in my head that I was ready to talk about, but we'll put that off, right? What I really want to get to, Ed, I really want to talk about squatty potties.
Oh, my God. Can I take a break?
Have you tried the squatty potty?
Can I take a break?
No.
Coffee break?
So we've talked about sometimes what you eating. Now we're going to talk about what you do when you're done eating. So you guess you hadn't tried the squatty.
I have no need.
A bidet?
I have no need.
No. do you know you don't have a need?
I have no need, but go ahead, enlighten us.
Do you have a colostomy bag? You don't need a bidet. Everybody could benefit.
So, look, the only reason I bring this up,
I'm a baby wipe guy.
you know, Granger moved baby wiper. Okay, that's cool too. That's that. I get that. But I just thought I'd find out kind of where you were at in this, because this is a health and wellness show, and clean booties are health and wellness, buddy. Why are you shaking your head and closing your eyes?
Because it's Saturday night.
You wanted the show to go.
It's Saturday night, and we're talking about this. There's not. Okay, get it out.
All right, so I will get it out. I'll tell you, because I wouldn't get it out
literally and figuratively.
So... I wasn't really trying to. There was no pun trying to be created there, but I guess one got created. So Granger moved out. Now my son.
Wait a second.
And,
you think he's going to want you talking about this?
He's not, but he's not going to listen to it. So he is a huge believer in the squatty potty, and then he bought one of those damn bidets you get off Amazon. You hook up to your toilet, and he swore by that thing. Well, he left for ASU with his squatty potty, but he left behind the bidet. I thought, well, he talked a lot about it. I thought I'd check it out. You know what? Those folks in Europe have got something going on. I'm just telling you, they were ahead of us on that, right? The whole butt wipe thing is not nearly as good as the bidet program. So, just my take, Ed. I'm like you. This is not my normal. This is outside the Craig Slate, how he grew up kind of mentality thinking. It's a little bit out there, but this is where, when we talked about that young mind or that new mind, right? I had to open myself up and say, you know what, I'm going to give it a shot.
Yeah.
So what I'm telling
you, this is where I draw the line.
But I'm telling you and the listeners, look, I wouldn't bring this up, but I mean, I told Granger he was crazy. Now, I can't comment on the squatty potty. I think maybe some people can, as they raise their hands there in Texas, Dallas, Texas,
North Texas. Yeah.
So there's other people, and so that Lauren Mason are big fans of that program. I know it's weird. You know what? Hey, Ed, and everybody listen, I realize, poop's not something people like to talk about, but, pretty sure everybody does that. And, some people have good problems with it. Some people don't do well with it. So, you know what? This show's about talking about the stuff you don't want to talk about. Right? It's who we are.
Groundbreaking.
Yeah,
I will say
conversation.
The few homes that I've been in, and it's been a while, but I remember as a kid, at least 2 homes of friends that I went to that had an actual plumbed bidet in the bathroom, like opposite the toilet.
Oh, okay.
Were both being used as like
stayed in hotels,
planters.
House.
Yeah, they were both being used as planters. They had like house plants.
What?
Yeah, coming out of it.
Come on.
Yep.
I kind of want to hop in here really quick and just...
Please come in, Mason.
All right, so the squatty potty really did... Laura, she brought that into my life.
Okay, so I've been a believer in the squatty potty since, I don't know, I was at least 24. I'm 29 now, so it's
what?
Been a minute,
I didn't know you were back that far with a squatty potty.
Back that far.
She's OG squatty potty.
Yeah.
I mean,
it just
hell.
helps with your,
was that like
your
books
posture
originally? Did you start with the actual original official one, or were you just like put a bunch of books in there?
No, it's just like from Amazon, just like a stool. You know?
Yeah,
what I mean?
No, I know
really
what
good.
it is, but I didn't know they existed that far back.
Yeah.
But Ed, have you ever seen a squatty potty?
What?
I asked Ed if he's ever seen a squatty potty.
Yeah, they have them at Bed Bath & Beyond.
Well, as a hunter, Ed.
Oh, okay. Go ahead, Mason.
So think about when you're out. If you're hunting, you're on an extended trip. Like I've gone on plenty of hiking trips where you're digging a hole, and that's all there is to it, right?
I take stuff to stop you up so you don't go for like 3-4 days.
Well,
That's
if you're
what I do.
backpacking, Craig, there's only so much space you have. But what I would say, like the whole design principle behind the squatty potty is that it's
the posture.
It's the posture
It
that we
is.
would normally, before standardized toilet seats and toilets and buildings and stuff like that. It raises your hips and it just opens up your
Okay.
pelvis the right way.
Right.
But also we got a it's not really a bidet, but we got something for cloth diapering for Violet.
It's basically like a water.
Yeah, it's like a handheld thing so that we could rinse off the cloth diapers before.
So it's a handheld bidet.
It's a water pick.
That's how I use it. It's great.
Yeah, but for your
It's
easy. Those dudes can hurt.
Hey, well, you want to talk about no wipe zone? That's what we're living over here.
No, I still have wipes because I'm Ed. I was a wipe person before we got the bidet, like the nozzle.
Yeah, we do the wet wipes, but consistently that thing is excellent.
Pretty cool, yeah. And it was good for me after like postpartum because you're not supposed to like.
Can't really wipe it.
You can't really wipe. You're supposed to use like spray bottles anyway.
All right.
So anyway,
we're bringing in new listeners with this conversation.
Yes,
I can see the hashtags now. Like the hashtags are just going off in my head.
Wait till you see the image, the thumbnails.
Yeah, you keep that on Craig's. You keep that on Craig's side of the thumbnail.
Yeah, Dad's gonna be on a squatty potty.
Before I get any hate mail, I am not debating the effectiveness. I'm debating the interest.
What?
Like
you're debating what?
The interest level.
You just have no interest in a squatty potty or a bidet?
I mean, Mason, to your point, when I go hunting if I'm out in the woods
a little bit higher
for 10 days, I can see like is it physiological similarities? Yeah, I totally see it. I'm not debating it whatsoever.
If you don't have poop problems, that's fine, or like if you like using the restroom, if that's going well for you through diet, perfect.
Congratulations, Ed.
But for other people,
I mean for anyone, but for other people, it definitely, I noticed a difference, and it's like a $20 purchase, and just to try it out, I'm not gonna. I want to say for shits and giggles, we'll cut that out. Maybe, I don't know. But it's worth it, in my opinion.
So yeah, so Ed, I think so full on. The squatty potty hasn't really resonated as well. I just mostly wanted to point out you might want to get a bidet. That's all I'm saying.
Okay.
Like a few bucks, you can hook one up, and then there are obviously believers in the potty of squatty. And they just gave their testimonials on the potty squatty. So anyway, all right. So I guess we talked about, the exit. How about the entry? What are you eating?
You asking me?
Nothing. Well, hell yeah, you're my freaking partner in this damn show. And now you think I'm asking?
I didn't have anything exciting. Like it's been boring, same old.
You had that stuff. You said. Oh my God!
Well, I mean, junk food. Okay,
so super high end freaking restaurant in freaking Austin. You stinking.
Oh yeah,
ate roasted carroties or something.
Yeah, those were good. So yeah, nothing new, but I would say that, man, I had some Brussels sprouts, but the chef went a little overboard on the what did he put on it? The not olive oil, but
balsamic.
Yeah. Oh my God, it was like having a dessert. I mean, it was so sweet, but they were really good. Yeah, I don't eat a lot of tomatoes because the acidity messes up my stomach, or at least it used to. So I haven't been that brave, but I had a really good salad, and I sent y'all a picture of, and some roasted vegetables, some roasted radishes. I wasn't a huge fan of them that way, but they were pretty bitter. But yeah,
do you like radishes ever?
Yeah, like matchstick. Really? Yeah, a little bit. like
my
mixed.
dad used to grow radishes. I don't know why. Nobody ate them. I don't know why. He did. My dad would eat anything. But
probably the rabbits.
Yeah, radishes.
Rabbits wouldn't eat them either. That's probably why.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, that's the only thing he could grow. That was one thing nothing else ate but him. But radishes, yeah, I've never actually had. And sorry guys that are growing radishes out there that are listening to the show, but I mean, it's not a winter. In fact, you know what? They don't even sell the damn things anymore, do they?
Yeah.
Now that I think about it, when's the last time I saw a radish at the produce department? I guess you found some.
Well, I didn't. Yeah, that was at a restaurant, but radishes are pretty common in Mexican restaurants but they pickle them, right? You'll see radish, carrot, jalapeno, but it's pickled, or in pickled juice.
They're actually pretty good in that.
Yeah, it's very common in Mexican food, particularly. It's probably what's keeping the radish alive. What's so funny?
That's probably what's keeping the radish alive is the Mexican restaurants pickling them, because I don't know of anybody else that pickles them. So yeah, I have to try that though. I hadn't even thought about that. Honestly, I'm trying to think last time I was at a restaurant that had pickled carrots. I know what you're talking about, and that is very popular, especially when you're in Mexico. I hadn't been down there in a minute, but anyway.
Yeah, the others I had was just
roasted vegetables,
junk food, like pseudo junk food, Atkins M&Ms and caramel clusters. Sometimes you're weak and you need some junk food, so I try, at least for my junk food, to be somewhat, I'm not even going to use the word healthy. It's just like somewhat health conscious, let's say.
Yeah, I was with a friend of mine a week or so ago. We were eating out, and he's a big health guy. And he had to break down and get him some olive oil cake.
But wow.
Everybody else was able to fight through it. But
hey, did that buddy have a salad for dinner when the other buddy had like a steak the size of his head? Do I remember that?
I didn't have steak, home slice.
What did you have?
Yeah, you did not remember that, because I had pesca.
I know you didn't have a salad.
No, but I had salmon.
Okay. Well, I had a salad because I knew that I was going to be intrigued by an olive oil cake. So for those of you that haven't put two and two together, Craig and I were together not that long ago. We had dinner at a place with a group of people. It's real descriptive. We had dinner at a place with a group of people.
It needs to be very confidential too, so we don't want anybody to know any of the people that were with us or the restaurant.
Didn't you want to talk about the squatty potty some more?
No, I like this.
Which, by the way, if you eat clean and have like 50 ounces of veggies a day, you don't need squatty potties, bidets.
You don't need a squatty potty.
No, yeah.
No, but you don't need a bidet either.
Yeah, maybe that went too far. But so we were having dinner, and I saw that dessert, and I gave myself a green light. I mean, we've talked about this, right? It's you've got to treat yourself once in a while, and so I took some measures to try to offset the impact by having a salad, and I had the olive oil cake. I said it. All right.
You did.
Well, actually,
you did.
You brought it up.
It's all good.
I'm just fessing up to it, and it was damn good.
You're fessing up.
Yeah.
I was going to ask. I mean, so it was worth the green light. I mean, it was a well-used green light for you.
Yeah.
So it looked pretty tasty. It really did. So, well, I'm going to give mine. So, I feel like, you kind of were like implying that all of Craig's stuff that he has when we do this What You Eat, and it's like you imply that I only present junk food, which may be the case.
I wasn't implying. I think you're just feeling guilty.
Well, maybe I just, what is it, guilty dog barking or whatever.
Bark first.
But I do have something today. Yeah. Grain-free cookies. Now, Ed, I'm not a fan of sugar, right? You've heard me say
wine.
Sugar's no bueno, as you've heard.
Wine.
There's no sugar in wine. Look it up. No sugar in there. All the yeast has consumed it and turned it into beautiful alcohol. So there's a few carbs, but there's no sugar. I'm not kidding you. There's very little sugar in wine. No added sugar, no cane refined sugar, no sugar alcohols, no stevia, no gluten, no grains, no dairy, no palm oil, lecithin gums, or anything that is bad for you. This is a dadgum snickerdoodle that is tasty, my friend. Get back to human. I don't know. It's called Hue. Anyway, it's keto friendly. I don't eat. I eat a couple of cookies. It's a nice little way to, if you don't have olive cake hanging around, it's a nice way to get through the, after dinner.
Olive oil cake.
Olive oil cake. Sometimes I just drink olive oil for dessert. Just turn that dude up.
Hey, we had that podcast not that long ago. I was drinking olive oil. I mean, it's.
Oh, that's damn Skippy. You are the olive oil king. And you got hey, when are you going to present your collection of olive oils? You should bring those out sometime.
Yeah.
And just kind of show them off. I could auction a couple of them.
Can we have negative listeners? Is that possible? Because after Squatty Potty, a olive oil retrospective or presentation, probably. Yeah, that's not going to happen.
You think we're losing people? You think they're done? All right. Well,
if not after what do you? Okay. If not after this episode and Squatty Potties and bidets, I don't know what it's going to take.
Yeah. Well, we're trying to reach a new crowd. More people coming in. I think there's people wanting to know about the potty.
You're reaching.
So you tell me. All right, you're next up. You know what? You give me the next subject. So it's balls in your court, Ed.
I heard you talking about dinner earlier. That sounded good. I heard butternut squash. I love butternut squash soup, even though it has cream and.
Do you really?
Okay. Oh yeah, it's one of my favorites. I don't get to eat it very often, so I heard butternut squash. Is that what you're doing with it?
Yeah. Well, we're not having a soup. Tanya makes this amazing butternut squash, sausage, and gnocchi with a little white wine in there, and don't know this much else, but you start it on the stove, and then you put it in the oven for about 30-40 minutes, and it is the most rich and delicious, amazing. It's great. It's great. I mean, I like butternut squash as well. You can do butternut squash in a lot of different things, but yeah, for me, it is an outstanding meal, and we'll probably have a little grain-free, gluten-free, just a small smidgen of bread with some olive oil and salt, no butter, and a salad. It'll be outstanding. Feel like I'm over in Italy enjoying my squash and sausage.
Italy, huh?
Italy. Yeah,
well, that sounds good. Yeah, I wish we lived closer.
That's what he pronounced Italy.
I'd drop by.
Why don't you jump in a plane and come home, man?
Yeah.
It's not that hard.
No, it's not.
I'll pick you up at the airport.
I'll be there.
Don't you wish you had a plane? That'd be cool, wouldn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, that would be cool. But I'm not going to say, man, if I just had a plane, everything would be perfect. Right? Because I don't want to suffer like that.
You're not gonna say that.
No, I'm not gonna say
that. That's good.
Because everything's perfect now.
All right.
Yeah.
So
I feel like
you wanted to get off your chest something about something on mental health. What did you want to talk about? Because you said before we started this that you had a big piece on mental health that you wanted to talk about. So
nah, I think we'll save it. We've gone, this was kind of a somber episode, and we've gone quite a while now. I think I'll save it. I'll save it.
That one.
I'm not gonna. I mean, Squatty Potty is not going to be the lead in to my, mental health piece. You know, I'm kind of watching.
We've left Scott. You keep going back to squatty potty. That was like so far back. You've got to take that out.
I'm traumatized. So out of the corner of my eye, I'm watching the Mets Yankees game because I don't know. Did you?
Yeah.
They're playing, you know, and they obviously
scheduled
it as a memorial game. Yeah, that was pretty cool. But they had a piece earlier that I had forgotten about. The first game back 11 days after 9/11, and the Mets were down to the Braves, like I think 2-1 in the 8th inning. I don't remember if he hit it in the 8th or the 9th, and he hit the home run. Like that was awesome, right? And they showed the video of it today, and then I watched it several times. That was pretty incredible. And they interviewed him, you know, how it was. Like if the Mets would have lost, right, at that time, it would have been pretty deflating. You know, first game back, they made a big deal about it. Even some of the Atlanta players were like, that's the way it was supposed to be, basically. That's the way it was supposed to be, like storybook type scenario. You know, and
didn't George Bush throw out the first pitch in that game?
I think he did.
I think he actually threw it over the plate. I think he's like the one president that actually threw a real pitch.
Yeah, I think he did.
So,
how about did you watch any football today? Did you watch the Aggies Buffs game?
Hell yeah. I damn sure did. Sort of. I had a lot to do. I was actually running around. I watched it on my phone, so I didn't get to watch it as I would like. I had every day. My expectations for my weekends are always never met.
If my weekend was just like this, it would go like that, right? Yeah, a good game. Aggies won 10-7.
Oh yeah.
King goes down. You know, I think it was the first quarter. And then Zach Calzada, you know, jumps in and steps up and wins the game. I mean, it was a defensive game for sure. I mean, 10-7. You know, the Aggies defense kept them in the game.
Yeah, I wasn't no sure about Zach. I didn't understand exactly why running the ball seemed all. I mean, my God, we got some of the best running backs in the freaking college football. Why we insisted on having the new guy that just got out there. But anyway, good game. You're right.
Yeah, he got comfortable and. So to speak, like there were some rough patches early on, but yeah, it was a good game. Very, very good game. What else happened this week? So, clean eating challenge, Viva Fresh clean eating challenge. One of the main reasons why I'm even sitting here talking to you today, because I took that pledge several years ago.
You don't love me. I thought you loved me.
Yeah.
That's why you're here talking to me.
We had our first meeting to plan for the Clean Eating Challenge 3.0 Viva Fresh this last week. So I'm pretty excited about that. And looking forward to being part of it. So more to come on that.
Very cool. How many people you got this year? How many people you have on it this
year?
We
have more people than we can probably accommodate, like effectively. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, but we have a registered dietitian that's involved this year. So to keep
sure they hate sugar.
People like me from giving bad advice. So
your advice is probably better than most nutritionists. So I'm just going to say.
Well, thanks, buddy. I appreciate that.
Yeah, no, I'm serious. I mean, I'm not always a big believer in nutritionists.
Oh well, we'll keep that to ourselves.
So, just me.
Yeah.
No, it's on the show. It's out there.
It's out there forever.
Out there forever. I'm gonna get all kinds of hate mail.
Yeah. What else happened this week? You had a ridiculously looking tri-tip you cooked last week.
I want to talk about my degenerative apes. I want to talk about my damn degenerative apes. Yeah. That's what I wanted to talk about.
All right. Go for it. Degenerative apes.
So, man, the NFT world just continues to explode, buddy. So anyway, I don't know. I've got to look more into it. Well, there's two things in the NFT world I looked at. One, I looked at Formula One cars that they were auctioning off, but I didn't exactly understand everything completely. So This week I ran across a deal called these degenerative apes, which you buy this ape. So if you can imagine a portrait, like a portrait of somebody or something, right? So it's a portrait, and then they give you these things that you can put on these apes, basically. And it's you'd have to see it. I can't sailor hat, smoking a pipe, different color of hair, so you can design your ape however you want it, right? And that becomes your, that's so you basically mint your NFT that becomes exclusively yours. So from what I was able to read, you use and the cost is 6 Solera coins, which when this so the Solera coin was probably a $30-$40 US dollar coin, if that, before this degenerate ape thing drops. It's dropped 2 weeks back, and Solera went from that $20-$30 up to $170. And so I haven't seen where it's settled back down to at right now, if it's still up there, if it's come back. Anyway, I don't know. It kind of got a little rich for my blood by the time I got to looking at it. Now you're talking about 6 of those at $150 a pop. That's a little expensive for a degenerate vape for old Craig. I got to be honest with you. But some of this stuff, dude, they're making these things and they're selling them a couple of months later for millions. So I don't know. I may get me a degenerate vape. Talk a little bit with Mason about it. I don't know. They're all better designed people. So it's all about how you design your ape, right? How he looks, right? I mean, that's kind of the uniqueness. And so you, the listeners, go look up these degenerate vapes. Look into this stuff. I'm telling this NFT thing, man. Don't be the last guy to be figuring it out. You need to be on the front end of it.
Degenerative apes.
NFT, my fake world. I can't wait to get in my fake world.
Yeah.
Veg trapper. Gonna have the trap.
There's not enough to do in this world. Degenerative apes. Will you let us know how that goes?
So, yeah, I will. I'm going to look a little more into it. It'll probably be so dadgum expensive by the time I get around to making a decision on it. It'll get, thrown in the trash can like everything else. I'll be doing some other degenerative thing, degenerative cats or something. Nobody cares about those. So
it's just, I guess, degenerative apes or not, there's just so much going on, like entertainment wise. Like, it's just crazy how much there is to do, to keep you occupied or to be into or to be a fan of or to be, in some cases, addicted to. So I've recently, this is going to be boring to you compared to degenerative apes because this is actual.
Why do you think? Why would you say that? Why would you say that?
I'm going to be speaking about
Solana. By the way, Solana is $179 right now. So anyway, go ahead.
I'm going to be speaking about actual tangible items, so this might be boring to you. It's like Cro-Magnon stuff, okay? But
not degenerative apes.
No. So I'm not on Facebook. And so a friend of mine was just telling me about just like, I don't know, just like kids don't know commercials as TV commercials as commercials, they call them ads. So he tells me about, and it took me a couple times to understand what he's talking about. He's saying that, he's on some marketplace on Facebook and he's playing these games, right? Basically, what I've been able to glean from all of this is it's not games. They're basically raffles, okay? Where somebody will take an item that they would otherwise sell to an individual at or below retail price to be able to move it. So they're taking it and putting it on these, I guess, virtual raffles or Facebook-based marketplace, raffle. They call them games. So you get, let's say it's a $500 golf club, but you paid $20 for a ticket for a chance to win this $500 golf club. The guy sells 100 tickets and makes way more money than, he would have. Right. So that's going on. And like every week we play, he's got like a new golf club in his bag and we're talking like premium stuff. Right. And apparently he's pretty lucky You can't win all the time, but he's got like a whole bag of golf clubs, all relatively new, that he's won in this Facebook marketplace games raffle.
And so what's he paying for them?
Well, I mean, $20 here, $30 there, $50 there. Again, you're not guaranteed to win, but
so you're buying a raffle ticket, and if you're just lucky enough to get your number drawn, you get the club.
They would.
Anaro ought to play. No, it's not Anaro. It's Luis.
Yeah,
Luis is always the guy that wins the stinking.
Yeah. No, this. Yeah. I mean, he would yell at me if we even called it a raffle, because it's not a raffle. Again, I'm not on Facebook, so I haven't even seen what it looks like. My point is, there's just a lot of stuff going on, a lot of things you can be entertaining yourself with. So that's why when you bring up degenerative apes, like, I'm still not through all the stuff I could be into in the tangible world to be in the, that other place you're going.
I feel like it's the transition, or like kind of the difference between, like, from television being a main source of entertainment to the internet being, even though the internet is more than just entertainment. I think that the metaverse, or like what Craig's talking about, is he's kind of getting into the next thing that's kind of really take over. It's going to be and there is a lot of money to be made. I mean, it sounds like there's a lot of golf clubs to be won too, off of this thing. But hell, I mean, I priced golf clubs years ago because I was like, you know what, maybe I'd like to be a professional golfer. That didn't turn out very great, but
I thought this.
Some of those drivers, $300, not to stock, not even with like custom shafts or grips, stuff like that, and you freaking enter 3 raffles, you win a club. It's like, man, you're coming out ahead.
Yeah.
But
no, I'm not arguing there's not money to be made on the front end of anything, frankly. I think what I was really just kind of amazed at is there's just so much stuff out there, right? It's just like, to be into, involved, hobbies, interests, it's just a lot, right? And so is the competition. The competition is pretty stiff for people's money, interest. That's why this podcast is free.
But
for now,
we started Degenerative Ape. Maybe we should start an NFT for this pod.
Why don't we get like a user supported or a listener supported degenerative ape and start there? Like let's crowdfund a degenerative ape.
Yeah.
We've got to buy one too. There's only 10,000 that you can. There's only going to be 10,000.
Oh my God! Please hurry.
Please send us your money.
They need help.
These degenerative apes need your.
These are great characters. You got to add. Okay. I don't know whether you want to look into bidets first or degenerative apes, but you've got to. Spend some time this evening.
You know what your answer is going to be there.
Golf clubs.
You're going to look into how to win a free golf club?
No, degenerative apes.
So go to Ape. It's called the Ape. The Degen Ape Academy. So DEGEN Ape Academy. Okay. That's where you go, and that's where you buy them.
You keep saying degenerative, but it's degenerate ape. Okay, first of all.
Oh.
Which I thought degenerative. That's typically like an illness.
Yeah, so you're right.
These apes are dying.
Yeah.
That's why I did the Sarah McLachlan.
All right. This looks like spam.
I'm not really good with the English language.
I'm getting out of this. This looks like there's a...
Okay, okay, don't go to anything bad sites.
Yeah, I opened to something and it says it's asking me for a password, Apple...
Nah.
Apintosh.
Oh, no, it's got a little old computer. It's got like an Apple computer, bro.
Mm-hmm.
It's got like an Apple computer on there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's it. Scroll down.
Okay.
Enrollment fee, 6. Maximum students, 10,000. I'm gonna look into this. I may if they ain't filled up, I may get us one.
All suckers click here. I got it.
How can I buy an ape?
Oh my God.
Get a good night's sleep, Ed? Did you sleep well last night?
I'm sleeping horribly.
You been sleeping good?
No. I got problems.
Why? You're not sleeping good?
No.
Bro, what do I got to tell you?
I'm going to get a Whoop
What'd I tell
band.
you?
So Whoop just came out with the 4th generation band. Brian was showing
not
me.
Not going to help you sleep, bro.
No, but I think knowing what my recovery rates
a
are.
Bhutan.
Yeah.
Look, man, you've got so many similarities to Tanya in so many ways.
You know what's the worst is when you sleep.
She was the.
Go ahead.
I'm just saying, man. I'm telling you, spend your money on a Shiki Bhutan. I think you will be shocked at how well the Shiki Bhutan is. If you've got back pain, bad sleeping.
It's horrible when you sleep worse at home than anywhere else. Like, I sleep better in any hotel than I do at my own home. That's pretty sad.
Yeah, but you're staying at like 6-star hotels. IFCO lifestyle.
Yeah, right. I'd take a courtyard bed over the bed I have in my bedroom any day. No,
you ain't stayed in a courtyard since your truck got broke into. That's now going to be your excuse. Hey, I'm spending $300 a night.
Yeah, I got to stay at the W. I got to stay at the W rooftop bar.
I'm at the W.
So, okay, I think that's it. I just told you that Callie was out of town, so I'm going to give a shout out to my wife because she is in roughing it, as you would say. She's up in Bastrop. But she had signed up for I think they call it a baby marathon, which is shorter than a mini. So, I mean, not marathon, triathlon. I'm sorry. Swimming, biking, running.
Ching. Ooh.
Right. So, she did it at the beginning of the year, and she would admittedly say she's not in the shape that she had planned to be, going into this, but she went anyway. And even though I asked her to please come back and not leave me with these kids by myself and make it through.
Thinking about yourself, is that what you're saying?
Yeah, she was pretty impressed by that too. But yeah, I was very proud of her.
Not that you was worried about her, just worried about you being stuck with the kids.
She went through with it. I told her, look, just cancel, don't go, get ready for the next one. She said, no, I committed to it. I'm going to go do it. And she did it. So anyway.
Good for her.
Yeah.
So she rides, so bike riding, swimming, whole deal? Yeah.
Bike ride, swim, run.
You don't even know, do you?
Yeah, they were pretty short distances, but still, hill country, it's not hill country there, but yeah, there's hills. So it was, like a 2,500 meter swim, 10-mile bike, 2-mile run, something like that. But, yeah.
You didn't go?
I didn't go because I traveled last week and I'm leaving on Monday. So I would have literally gone up there, come back, and then left again. And then Lainey had a volleyball tournament.
So look here for the next show. We're going to have an interview.
Really?
So get ready.
Sponsored by
We got a couple
X-Lax.
lined up. Sounds perfect.
Anyway, are you serious? We're going to have an interview?
Yes, we're going to interview somebody. Oh. John Toner's coming back.
For a follow-up.
Not kidding. We got good response on that, though.
We do.
Yes, we will have an interview next week, our next show. And we will be talking all sorts of good, healthy conversations. But yeah, no, I've got a couple lined up, some folks that I think everybody will enjoy listening to and have a lot to bring to the show. And
are you going to fill us in, or is it going to be a surprise?
It is. Nope. Surprise.
Okay. Yeah. Nothing like
we'll put it out.
Nothing like not promoting the next.
No, we'll promote. Look, hey, bud, we'll promote when the show drops. And you know what? Maybe people want to turn back in. You know what? Maybe it's going to be George Bush or something on here. I don't want to tell everybody now.
Oh yeah.
So, just saying.
So I reached out to the George Bush's people. He said that he can't do the next one, but that he's on hold. So
what was Laura? Is Laura busy?
I'm right here.
No, Laura
What?
Bush.
Oh. I mean, we can try and get the former first lady on as well. We'll see.
Yeah, I guess
Isn't
Ed, you can
George
talk to
Bush
Jimmy.
doing art now?
He's
What's
doing
that,
art.
Laura?
Isn't the former president George Bush doing art now?
Yes, he's got.
Which is pretty cool.
Yeah, he's got quite a work of art, quite a bit of art, and actually, supposedly he's pretty good. So.
Yeah, well, good for him, dude.
But he's right there in y'all's backyard. Y'all could go. All you got to do is go over to Preston Hollow and just knock on the door and see what's happening. He might join us.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, I'll hop the fence and just go up there. Knock
You should do that, Mason. Laura, video that, would you? That'd be great for the show.
But doesn't Laura Bush have a library named after her?
No, Laura. See, that's what they do with presidents, and that would be George's.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well,
so
I mean, the women should get something.
Each president gets a library. I don't know if Trump's getting a library. He was supposed to, but I hadn't heard nothing about his library.
It's only going to carry the art of the deal.
He's going to get a prison.
Yeah. A prison library.
Penitentiary.
All right, there went all of our conservative listeners. Ouch.
I can cut this part out.
Yeah, we'll cut this too.
Please do for Ed, because all the people that listen on Ed's behalf will.
I could see the sweat forming on Ed's brow.
Yeah, I gotta hide my next.
But seriously,
my next Black Rifle T-shirt. This is my third. But no, I was actually gonna say I have a library named after me, but it's a community neighborhood library.
No, are you serious?
No, I'm not.
Dad.
I'm joking.
That's so cool.
I'm joking. Oh. Now you're gonna make me.
Like, dang, you're out here donating.
Now you're gonna make me feel bad. I'm gonna have to go do it.
You should do that.
Go donate to a library. Get the Bertaud library of.
I'm ready for the Bertaud brew from Black Rifle, man.
Ooh.
As much as you're repping.
None of us are ever going to see that. He's just going to talk about stuff.
Yeah. Well, the holidays are coming up. Please let me, surprise you.
All right.
It's going to be a Christmas miracle.
We all get coffee from Ed.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Ed, do you have any other wonderful things that you would like to talk about your life? How you feeling? What you eating? What you doing?
No, I think that's it.
Exercising.
Yeah. No, I'm good.
You think you've covered it all today?
We haven't covered it all, but we've covered enough. Yeah.
I feel like you're just ready to go get you something to eat.
Well, I didn't eat because I didn't want to be sluggish. So, yeah, I mean, it's 9:00. Haven't had dinner yet. Not that I'm a real early bird, but I haven't eaten much today in general. So I don't even know what I'm going to eat. My mouth's watering already. So that'll tell you how hungry I am. I'm definitely not having butternut squash and gnocchi.
You should try it, man. Don't knock it till you've tried it. You should have some. Well, maybe you can have your favorite thing with cauliflower. Maybe just have some cauliflower and
it's
some
easy.
Vegetables.
It's easy. I mean, I'm telling you, I mean, we cook at home a lot, but one of my biggest pet peeves is when we know we're not cooking at home, and the question is, what do you want for dinner and from where? I mean, it is the biggest waste of time. Who can solve this problem?
Really?
Yeah. So,
it seems like that creates a bit of suffering for you. Is that correct?
Yeah.
You ever thought about changing your expectation? Maybe not. It is what it is.
What would that?
Don't have an expectation yet.
Okay.
No expectation. Just so when there's no food, it's, your expectation is, I expected us not to have a decision on food. Whatever we have is good for me. I'm not going to suffer. Because you want it planned out, don't you? You want to know what you're about to have.
No, honestly,
it seems logical.
I don't know. Maybe I need one of these food delivery subscriptions.
You don't
I don't want to have
a
to make the
subscription.
decision.
What do you mean you don't have to have a What are you talking about? One of these food delivery subscriptions.
They send you pre-made meals.
Yeah.
Oh, you're talking about that kind of subscription.
I'm not.
Well, they're not exactly pre-made, but they're easy to assemble yourself.
Yeah. No, I thought he was talking about like getting some grocery store to deliver to his house or Grubhub or something like that.
No. We
You're
use
talking
those.
about a box, and it shows up, and you fix it.
It's just the time and energy spent talking about making a decision, going to, like, at the end of the day, if it's edible, I'll eat it. I don't want to like spend a lot of time talking about it unless we're going to a restaurant. So you don't have
like go-to Zoe's, man. Zoe's there in your town. You need to hook up with that place.
So I've been.
Have you
actually
been to Zoe's?
Yeah, I like and you're going to give me crap for it, but because it's carbs.
Sure, I will.
But I like the
you eat the falafels?
No, the orzo.
Yeah,
the orzo.
Instead of the cauliflower.
Yeah, it's good. The orzo's good. I've only been twice. It's on the opposite side of town.
Yeah, I know it's a little bit of way.
Yeah, Zoe's is pretty good.
But yeah, that's like one of my staples when I'm in town.
Really,
it's a great place, and you can eat really freaking well there. Yeah, at least for lunch. I mean, I don't eat for dinner usually, but if I want to eat lunch or meet somebody for lunch, I'll at least eat there once. So, all right, bud. Well, you're rocking a nice cap. Somebody else hit me up about a cap the other day. So I could probably get them one.
I'm gonna have to make more.
Maybe they could have that one. It's nice. I like the color difference. So no, you know what? Somebody said something to me. I mean, they asked me about a cap. I said, he hadn't sent me a cap. So, just like the coffee.
Again, the holidays are coming.
Cap and coffee.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll get some more made. So keep those questions coming in. You know, if you're willing to give us another chance after the squatty potty discussion, follow us at the Fresh CrEd on Instagram.
It's health related. You know what? This squatty potty, folks, is health related. So look it up.
Yeah.
Good bowel movements are essential to well living.
I threw up in my mouth a little bit. That's all this coffee on an empty stomach and then talking about that.
All right, wrap up the show, Bobo.
Yeah.
Let's get the heck
so
out
again,
here.
If you're going to give us another shot, at the Fresh CrEd on Instagram, at CrEd Fresh on Twitter, and the Fresh CrEd on YouTube, please follow, share, repost, send topics for discussions or discussion. And that's it. Cue the music.
All right, guys. Mason, Laura. Yeah, cue it up. Mason, Laura. Love to see you guys. Laura, nice new do you got working. Ed, love the cap. You look great. And go get you something to eat. And God bless America. And you guys all have a good evening and take care. We'll see y'all soon. And we are out of here on the Fresh CrEd. Take care. Bye.
See you.
I said the whole thing. So. And you start me up.
He has to be drunk, and the Stones have
I was gonna say the Stones have to be playing. It's not there, guys. Not gonna make it.
That was good. I liked it.